Guys, just coming back from my run here in the south of France. Look, I've been 12 years in the wellness industry, been a wellness coach, started my journey in Australia, back to France after that. And in 12 years, I've never seen the impact that I'm seeing right now with We Do Transformations. I've just literally registered my 35th challenger as well as my 5th coach for the month. So January just kicked in. We took it super serious. 2025, like our life depends on it. And we are already seeing the results. A few things are making a huge difference. Number one, the fact that you just want to keep doing more and more and more. I love the leaderboard. I want to be all the way up there. I'm a competitive guy. I've got that desire, and I wish the same for all of you guys to build your business. But second, the amount of before pictures that I've received, it's not normal. Like I've never had in my last 12 years of career. So that is literally something that I know for sure it's going to make a massive success because people commit. They have a deadline. They are sending their pictures like they want to win. They want to win. And even if they don't win, the reality is that you've got third, an app that makes a difference. Like it's handy. The workouts are absolutely amazing. I've just had a girl, for example, she was not referring me anyone, but because she loves the app, it's fun, it's cool. She's like, hey, can I register this girl? Hey, can I register my friend? Can I register this guy? And that's it. So for anyone that wants to build or let's say take their fitness journey, business to the next level, guys, it's time to join.
All right, what's up, guys? How's everyone tonight? Welcome to the first press team call of 2025. Who's excited? If you guys can put where you guys are from, who's excited, who's ready to kill it. So start putting in the chat where you guys are from. Oh, here we go. We're starting to get some stuff. But yeah, guys, we are excited. And if you can see here, this is not a repeat from last Tuesday's call. You see me here. You see Justin. I got a different shirt. Justin has a different background, different shirt. And we also have George. And we were going to do we're doing a press team call. We have some plans on how to do the press team call and everything. But we decided to change it around to do something a little bit different. And one of the reasons why we decided to do a little bit different is because I know we got some unexpected news this month about everything that is going on with the company, everything that is going on with the VIPs, a lot of changes. And we figure instead of talk about what we were going to talk, we figure we can't just let that fly. And we wanted to, we wanted to talk to you guys about things that we've seen, things that we think might help with everything that is going on. I mean, the reality is we all been in the chats. George has not been in the chat, so he's been traveling. I kind of gave him a little bit of background what's going on. He doesn't know everything that is going on, but I know a lot of you guys are in the press team chats. We are in the press team chats. We've been seeing the conversations. We've been seeing everything that is going on. So we figure we can't just not talk about it. We can't just and we can't just be bitter. We can't be, like it is what it is. What we have to do is come together and come out with solutions that will make it better, that will help the business, that will help everyone. And I think this is the call tonight. I think we have maybe some ideas, some recommendations that we can do to make it better. Justin has some great ideas. I have a couple ideas. And well, we have George to help us out and to give us some insights on everything that is going on. So I don't know if you want to say anything else, Justin.
Yeah, for sure. All right, like Octavio said, we can't be bitter and aggravated, even though I know that some of us are. I know that some of us are bitter, and I know that some of us are aggravated. But as our jobs as press team is to take that bitterness and that aggravation. I know it's a little weird because I'm probably one of the newest press teams on the call, but our job is to take that bitterness, that aggravation at our level and turn it into solutions. Come up with things that, you know what, here's what we're facing. Here's what the deal is. We don't like it. We don't want to swallow it. But at the end of the day, we still have to make sure all of our people eat. And
hey, Justin. Sorry,
yes,
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, bro.
Yes,
I'm realizing that we have maybe 70 people connected to the call. But yeah, we have this webinar thing where we can't see people's faces.
Correct.
Octavio, I mean, I don't know if it's possible at all, but this is one of those calls where a dialogue would be
Better.
necessary, and seeing people's faces and allowing people to talk would probably be a good idea, so that people can input and add their 2 cents.
Sure.
So I don't know if listen, it's only 70 people and it's president's teams. I don't know if we can start over through a different Zoom or whatever, but I think that would
make it better.
Make or break the call.
Carlos, es posible, sorry guys, we have the guy that runs the Zoom. ¿Es posible de hacerlo una llamada de vez de un webinar que todo el mundo se pueda ver y puedan hablar?
Sí, o quieres que ascienda más bien a todos. Me va a tomar unos minutos, pero los asciendo a todos de panelistas.
Okay. So yeah, so he's gonna do it. He's gonna make everyone panelists. It just takes a couple minutes. And I guess we can keep going over the things while he's making everyone panelists. And then you guys will be free to talk.
Cada uno tiene que ir aceptando la solicitud. Le va a ir llegando una solicitud a cada uno.
So guys, the way it works.
So just roll a video or something so that Carlos can focus on doing that and people can focus on accepting, and we're not in a rush.
Okay. So Carlos, si puedes poner un videito en lo que estás haciendo esto, might be better.
Do they have to click the link in the email, or they're automatically?
No, they don't have to get out. All they have to do is just they're gonna receive a request in the actual screen of the Zoom to become a panelist.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So guys, as you get the request, just accept it. I know we have translation too, but I think it's really important, just like what George was saying, to get some feedback and come up with solutions. Hey, at the end of the day, this is what the business is really all about. Come up with good solutions that can help everyone. They can fix whatever is going on out there. At the end of the day, it's always no problem attitude. We just have to move forward, figure it out. Hey, we champions over here. We can overcome anything. See. So as you guys start coming, just type where you're from. For the most part, guys, I know there's people from other countries. The reality is the things that we're going to talk about today doesn't necessarily have nothing to do with the country you're from. This is more for like the US. So, I mean, you can stay your press team if you want to hear, if you want to see, but that doesn't portray to you, to be honest. We didn't realize we were going to do it this way. We apologize for that, but
no problem.
Yeah. Carlos, cuando lo tengas todo, me avisas.
Ya, la mayoría tienen la solicitud ya.
Okay.
De hecho, deben estarse viendo ya en pantalla, ¿no?
Okay. Make sure you accept the request to become I guess a co-host or something like that. Okay, I think we're good. We have a lot of people, bro. We're already good. Most of the people now.
That's better. It's good to have to be able to see people's faces and.
Yeah, Justin, if you want to keep going.
I'm sorry?
No, Justin, if you want to keep going now.
Okay.
Let me see.
So we're ready, right?
We should. Yeah, let me. Carlos, ¿nos puedes poner a mí, a Justin y George en la pantalla?
Ya mismo.
Okay.
That was yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You're good. Go ahead.
So, as I was saying, even if we're irritated, even if we're frustrated, if we don't like the decisions, because I think for the majority of what I've seen and what I've, I guess, the people that I've spoke to and the people that have spoke to me and some of you guys, some of these things we don't like. But like we were saying, we can sit around and gripe and complain, or we can come up with solutions. And the group that we have and we do transformations, the people that we have, the press teams, from the beginning, that's been our our goal, was to solve some things, bring more value to the marketplace, bring more value to the products, bring more value to the teams. And I think that some of the things that we should talk about, some adjustments we should make would be, how can we bring more value? How can we do some things that solve some of the issues that have people maybe up in arms or have people irritated or frustrated or off put? How do we recapture even confidence in what we're doing, so that going forward, we know that we're adding even more and more and more. Right now, one of the big topics is events. Whether we're getting enough at events, what's the ticket price? What's the Prez team experience? What's the VIP experience? All of these things are being talked about. I have not seen the Prez team, North America Prez team, FCCC group go off so much since I've been in it. And I know that there's probably a lot of opinions on here, and I'm sure that you'll get your chance to speak if you have some good solutions and some good things to say, because that's what the group is. But I think that for me, I know that I have a couple of ideas to enhance We Do transformations, but I can't do it by myself. And I know that Octavio and Lauren and Jorge, they can't do it. We would have done some things already, but we need a few more people. We spoke about that earlier, and maybe officially that'll get announced. But there's going to be 4 or 5 people that's going to take on a serious role in some things, bringing We Do transformations more into our living room. We're going to have to, I feel like possibly we need to do events. So here's my opinion. I wanted to state this before we go on, before anybody clicks me off, before Jorge shuts me down. Here's the truth. I look at the top 100 coaches. If you guys were on the virtual event, you got to see them listed. And you're looking at, for sure, North America. I can easily say that the number 1 coach in We Do transformations for last year, they said in their training the other day, they said that where they caught the fire, where they caught the vision, what they saw and what they did and what they duplicated came from the mastermind at in-person event in Vegas in 2023. I know Tracy Johnson was not We Do transformations prior to that, and then came out, and we know she's one of the top coaches. I know in my area, Whitney Finch, same thing. I mean, we could go on and on and on. Guys, there are a ton of badass top coaches that got their vision, their understanding in person at the event in Vegas. Now, I will say this. Originally, we had ideas of having more events. But I also want to say that we always want to support the company. We don't ever want to get in the way of the company and what's going on. And we don't want to ever be misaligned. We want to be aligned with the company. I think everybody knows that. Or at least we hope everybody knows that. So instead of putting on more events, I don't know if you guys remember coming out of that event, going into 2024, all of a sudden we had Eric Worre. All of a sudden we had Project Broadcast. All of a sudden we had Premier League. All of a sudden we had this, we had that, we had this. And everything was so crazy. You got We Do, and everybody, there's a lot of people that felt very bombarded, very lost, not just in the marketplace, but Prez teams. Still to this day, I just saw in the other day in the Prez team group, people asking questions about Project Broadcast. Some of you guys are on this call, so I saw your names. Lost, completely not understanding what the next step is and trying to sift through it. It's been here a long time. So the last thing we wanted to do was add confusion or add, when people are faced with too many choices, even top people like us on this call, we get paralyzed in our decision making. And when we have decision making for other people, now what do we decide? Do we do this? Do we do this? Do we do this? So we did not want to add, and I'm speaking loosely here, just based on conversations from over a year ago. We didn't want to add to the chaos while everybody's trying to revamp and reboot. But I think in reflection, now that we have some experience, now that we have some things to go off of, some data, I really think that mastermind event with 2,000 people in the room turned out so many top coaches that it's imperative that we do more of those, that we turn up the events. And can somebody remind me the price on that? I think the original tickets were $35, and then I think they might have, when we expanded it, was to $45. Insane stuff for that amount.
Yeah, we can never do that again, by the way.
Sure. But I tell you this, I understand that we can't do it again. But I mean, can you imagine 2,000 people for that, what they came out with, and the number of top coaches that came out of that room, and they did it for $35 or $45, plus just make your way there.
Like,
Yeah, disclaimer. Yes. So what I'm trying to say is, if we could throw an event that even had that amount of content, that amount of things that impacted people and gave people blueprints, we're better than we were then by far, and we have a lot larger group of coaches that are doing this that now have experience and data and success and how they've integrated it into their everyday DMO and everything else. How does We Do Transformations fit into Herbalife every day? And can you imagine that if we put all those people in a room to teach everybody else now, it would be that event on steroids, so to speak. So
look,
that's my take. I know we got to make some things. I can see Jorge's already on the edge of his seat. He's ready to take over the mic. He's holding his hands over his mouth so he doesn't
No,
interrupt.
listen, bro. I'm listening.
Okay.
and one thing I know before George gets to talk and stuff, guys, look, the original idea of doing that event, when me and George, we got together and we were talking about the event, we realized there was a problem. The problem was that the quality of the events were not there. So what did we say? Okay, let's put an event together. And if we put a badass event, it will push the company to actually level up. And that the whole purpose of that event was to push the company to level up. And it worked. It worked. Look at everything that happened after that event. Now, they didn't do it like we did. I don't think anybody can top the event we did. But it wasn't like, even what they created is not at that level. And I think if we want to keep evolving, if we want to keep getting better, if we want to keep coming up with new ideas, new things, we have to keep putting pressure, not in a bad way, but pressure in a way that they have to level up. They have to push themselves because they realize, okay, if these people can come up with this kind of event, then we need to come out with different events. They come out with different names. They come out with different things, different strategy. Eric Ward came out of that event. That's literally where he came out. Eric Ward is with us today because of that event. That event opened doors to a lot of things. So I wanted to say that before George even starts. But the reason for that event, it was that reason, and George can tell you more.
Yeah, so we were talking today a little bit earlier, and I was like, hey guys, like, what's needed? Like, what can I talk about today that's going to be helpful or valuable to the president's teams? Because I'm not in the president's team chat. I try to avoid the drama. I'm not super on the loop with everything that's going on, but I'm kind of hearing it from different angles. And so I was like, listen, what can we talk about today that can be of use or that can be of value? And they're like, well, there's a situation kind of happening right now in the president's team chat, and there's kind of a feeling with everybody regarding events and different things. And so that's how we ended up talking about this topic. And I guess the point of this, and actually that's why I wanted to kind of open it up to see everybody's faces, which, by the way, listen, you guys are all press teams, and none of you should be hiding your faces. All of you should be on your camera, attentive, and involved. If you're off camera, it's probably because you're cooking or you're doing something else and not being very attentive. By the way, I'm in a hotel room, but we'll make the best of it. So, yeah, so there's a few things, and I'm listening to everything. By the way, we have not, Octavio, Justin, and I, we had a brief conversation over text message before this call. Nothing here scripted. I'm listening to this from these guys pretty much for the first time. I'm kind of just soaking it all in, and it's interesting. Thinking of that event that we did, the mastermind in 2023, originally that event was only supposed to be like 200-300 people. It turned into 2,000. And it was a very memorable event. It was a game-changing event. First of all, the actual event itself was next level. The quality of the event. I mean, I think we had the biggest screens I've ever seen in my life. the quality of the event, the quality of the information given out of the event. We had a lot of firsts. Nobody had ever brought Eric Worre to do an event. Nobody in Herbalife. Certainly not Herbalife. Herbalife had him virtually one time, but we had him come and speak for 3 hours. We had other outside speakers. Our branding was incredible. It was so attractive. It was so different. The event was so much fun. Meanwhile, still keeping some of the
For
you know
running.
the huh
The core, I
yeah,
guess.
still keeping the core. I mean, we still had simply the best. Every time it was lunchtime or a break, we still had um
VIP.
VIP. We still had certain things that are just we had lunch for all the presidents teams and VIPs. We had, I think it was 300 people at round tables.
Yeah.
Um, Over 200 presidents team in total. It was close to 300 people at round tables. Um, our party at night was probably the greatest party I've ever been to, of any event. We shut down a nightclub, and we had our brand. For those that didn't go, our brand everywhere in the nightclub. It was wild. It was crazy. Um, we did a workout that was also next level. We had 1,000 people at like a fit hour, or whatever you want to call it, a workout. And so a lot of great things came out of that event. First of all, like Justin was saying, there was a lot of individuals that went to that event for the first time. They were not even utilizing We Do Transformations, came out of there, took it, ran with it. They understood the concept, and they had a lot of growth and success um, in the year to come. Um, it also, what Octavio was saying, we also had some company staff there. We had some executives there. We had, now president. Then he had a different title, but Stefan Graziani was there. Some other executives, and probably from this, company staff, we probably had 6 or 7 people from Herbalife that were just kind of listening in and watching and, you know, seeing what the hell it was that we were doing. But out of that came the company bringing on Eric Worre. Out of that came uh, the company changing the branding and the marketing behind their events and renaming them. And uh, out of that came the company bringing in outside speakers to all of their um, LD, whatever they call them. They have like 3 different names now, but all of their LDWs, uh, call them. And out of that came a lot of different things, which have been positive, but I think they've dropped the ball on a lot of other things. Um, and I think we were able to accomplish something at that event that I haven't seen um, accomplished since at any events. But like Justin was saying, listen, we're team players. We're for the company. We're here to find solutions and grow. Not just grow our pins and grow our checks, but to grow our life. That's what we're here to do. Now, all that said about the event, which was a great event, and everything I've just stated about the event. Um, the other side of that coin is that a lot of people went to that event, but probably most of the people, or a lot of the people that went, didn't have the growth they wanted. A lot of the people that went are not where they want to be today. A lot of the people that went don't have the result in the business they want to have today. A lot of the people that went, to be honest, you could have the greatest events in the world and it probably won't make a difference for them. And here's why. No matter how good the event is, no matter how good the information is, no matter how good the experience is, no matter how good the people who are there are, if you don't put the work, if you don't actually um, take the time to understand and process the things you learned at the event, and then figure out how to make it work for you and put in the work, it doesn't work the same way for everybody. Okay. But if you don't figure out how to make it work for you and then implement the strategies and take the action necessary, nothing's going to happen. And so a lot of you today, you're sitting in the same place you were sitting in September of 2023. So the event was incredible. Um, but the event wasn't magical. Just like I always say, listen, the products are great, but the products don't do magic. Well, the event was great, but the event doesn't do magic and didn't do magic. And so, for that reason, many of you who went to that event are exactly in the same place that you were in 2023. Now, that being said, uh, I think there is a small group, probably, of people that really took the information, did something with it, and created growth for themselves and for their organizations in 2024. And I do believe that if we had more events, um, not for $35 a ticket or whatever it was. Listen, I got to tell you guys, we took such a loss in that event. Just so you guys understand, like we came out of pocket. Lauren would know, but we came out of pocket 6 figures, out of pocket 6 figures to put on that event. Okay, just to give you some perspective, the money the money that we collected from the attendees covered like lunch. Um, so that's why I said we can never do that again because we would actually have to, you know, cover at least most of our costs. Um, but I think we can certainly do something competitive, something that's fairly priced, and something not just that's fairly priced, but something that actually delivers the value behind the price that people are paying. Okay. Uh, we do need more events, I believe. I think back to that event in September, and there hasn't been anything like it. I would love to get back to an event like that. But the problem is that in order to do that, Justin and Octavio, and we'll just have a dialogue now because, again, this is the first time they're really getting into a conversation like this. In order to do something like that, we would need, I guess, support and participation from a good number of the leadership and a good number of the people involved in We Do Transformations. Because what we can't have happen is that we put together an event and we have a room now of whatever, 500 people or 1,000 people. And then we got people scattered all over the place at 1,000 different events. And then we got 100 people that show up. And to be honest, based on what I've seen and based on the level of commitment that I've seen from people and the level of focus and the level of engagement that I've seen from people, I think that that would be a situation that could potentially happen because not everybody is engaged, not everybody's committed. I don't know how many presidents teams there are, Octavio, in the
Oh,
in the group. How many are there?
we created a new group a couple weeks ago, and there's only like 50 in there.
Right, but originally there was like 300
Originally,
presidents teams.
we have 253.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, listen, I feel that it's necessary to bring back an event like that, or maybe multiple events like that. But we would have to have a commitment from a large number of people in order to be able to make it worthwhile. Because we're not going to do an event for 100 people, you know. Because for that, Justin, I'll do a small event for my group in Miami, and we don't have to worry about all the logistics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
but if we did something, big.
I'm sorry to
No, if
interrupt.
we did something big, we could figure out how to make it happen.
I know you're the man. I don't mean to interrupt, but
No, go ahead.
listen, when everybody bought those tickets, I know we can't do the pricing in, but when everybody showed up, took the trip, came across the country to Vegas, they didn't know what they were going to get. They had no idea. And then they saw that. Now they know. Now it's almost, I don't want to say legendary, but I don't have another word. But if they know that's what they're getting and that's what they're paying for, and as presidents teams, we spill that into our groups in a hardcore way, and we support and we commit to it, and we know that, hey, this is what we're going to take our team to get, versus rolling the dice on maybe some other events that we don't truly know what we're going to get, and more so today than ever, we don't know what we're going to get. Then I feel like enrollment shouldn't be a problem. And if we can't make a commitment to do an event like that again, then we have a commitment problem, and we're not going to solve anything because we're just going to keep complaining about the same thing over and over when we actually have a solution. And I think that solution would make it. But I just want to keep you to keep in mind, they didn't know what they were getting before, and they showed up for 2,000. Now we know what we're getting. I can only imagine what we should show up now.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's very true. The only thing about that was that was a one-off. So there was a certain hype factor and initial excitement about that maybe isn't there anymore because a lot of people they function on hype and excitement, but long term, not the same. There's a couple issues that I think we would run into. Um, the first one that comes to mind is with the company already having so many different events happening all the time. Well, not all the time, but the event calendar is already pretty full and is already predetermined. It would be very difficult to find off months where there's nothing going on, absolutely nothing going on, because there's almost always something going on. That's why we did that event in September, the time that we did it, because there's nothing going on in September. And so I think that if we're going to do it, doing something in September would probably be a good month. I don't know what you have in mind, but if you wanted to do multiple, meaning more than one event in a year, then we would have to come up with another month where we could do it. And that one, it would be nearly impossible to not run into any to other Herbalife events because we have honors in March and then we have LDWs or whatever they call them now in April. And obviously, extravaganza after that and vacations for a lot of people and stuff. And so that would get complicated. Now, I'll let you in on something, Justin. I don't even know if we've talked about it, but maybe you talked to Octavio about it. But Octavio and I, we were thinking of hosting our own events in April. And so if there's more interest from other people, maybe we, instead of hosting our own event for our organization, we could open something up and just do a We Do Transformations event for all of We Do Transformations, just like we would do in September. And then maybe that's an option for April. But again, April is the same month where the company has all their events. So that's the only challenge.
So I'm gonna let you in on something. Since the company has changed all the locations, condensed locations on certain things, which was some changes going into 2024. For me personally, where I am located, where my team is located, we would have to drive 9 hours one way to get to an event, or we can choose to drive any between 5 and 7.5, how we are laid out, to get to another location. So it's a difficult thing for us with the changes anyway. Personally, not everybody's going to be in this boat. I understand that. But for us, I want you to understand that a 3-day event is a 4.5-day event for us because of travel already. And then when you start throwing the expense in there of having to stay an extra night in a hotel and then leaving the event and not being able to make it home, so having to stay, that's 2 extra nights. There's a lot of things. And I know it's been a lot of factors for a lot of different people that I've spoke to. So what's really difficult is, and this is no shade to anybody on here, because I know we got some people on here that have really committed their life to running events. I know at least one person's on here and they stepped off of the committee and some different things. But I know this, when we're driving 6.5 hours or we're driving 9 hours to get to an event, we're paying this ticket price and we're rolling the dice on what the heck we're going to get. And when we come away from there, we don't have much more direction. It might be inspiration or motivation, but there's not much education. It becomes and listen, I can be the most hated guy on the call, and I just need y'all to know that I'm perfectly okay with that. But I want to be really honest. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, what I do care about is that the people that are going to events are going to be not going to events if we don't start delivering at events. And then we will have no growth anywhere. I would rather travel across the country. By the way, in my whole 5-year career, I know that's weak for some of you guys, but my whole 5-year career, the most people I had at an event went to Vegas to We Do Transformations in November. It's the most I've ever had anywhere because of what it was supposed to be, and it over-delivered. So I think I understand the conflicting, and man, again, don't mind if I'm hated on here. I'm not going against the company. I'm not against the company. I'm for value. And it's super important that we start to stand for that for our team, because almost every face on here that I know, if we're being honest, any conversation we've had, we want more value out of the events. We need more value for our people. It's not necessarily for us in the front row, but if they're not getting anything more in the back row than we're getting in the front row, then we have a real problem, because now we're just spending money to not make more money. And I think that I say that to say, really, whatever it takes, and whoever we disrupt or whatever we disrupt, sometimes there has to be disruption for progress, in my opinion.
Look, guys, and you know, just like what Justin was saying, and I'm truly not willing to draw the dice. I said it in the chat the other day. These events, they're becoming more expensive. I think the pre-sales is 120. Eventually, it'll be to 160. That's what they told me. And let's say it's 150. When you have a couple and they have to pay $300 just for tickets, on top of that, they have to pay for 3 nights in a hotel, maybe $500 to $600. Then what are they going to eat? They have to eat. They have to do. So by the time the event ends, they're looking at over $1,000. I'm sorry, but if we as a Preston have a hard time paying $1,000 right now, the way everything is, imagine regular people out there. I can't justify. And I can't tell them, yeah, go there, spend $1,000, and you don't get anything out of it. I'm not willing to draw the dice. I can't. It takes too long, and it's too hard to recruit people nowadays to waste it that way. I can't.
Octavio, you bring up something that I'm too passionate to let any of y'all interrupt me on. Here's the thing, man. When I started going to events, by the way, I made press team without ever going to an event. We didn't have any. I came in that time period, there were no events. So the first time I go to an event, I'm on the red carpet. And I was expecting the event to knock me out. I'd heard all these stories from all of these leaders. Man, we slept in bathtubs. We slept on floors. We jumped in people's trunks. We jumped in the bed of trucks. We did whatever we had to do. All these stories, all these experiences. Man, and I went down there and I heard this person, and it changed my life. I heard this. They said this and this and this. They showed this income. All of these things have changed because I can't see, no disrespect to anyone. I've been to one event that I would have loaded up the van and strapped people on top and got a bus or whatever we had to do to go to if we repeated it again. And it was the Mastermind. That's the only event that I've been to that every single person that went there came out on fire, but on fire with a plan. And that's the important part, is the second part. We can set them on fire with somebody they connect to, but do they have a plan? And, you know, I don't care if it's $50 or $150. There needs to be a value for the time invested. There needs to be a value for the travel invested. There needs to be a value and an experience that they can connect to. Where are those stories? I know they like to say the 300 COVID presidents team. I don't give a rat's rear end what people think of me. At the end of the day, we have to have events that people are going to want to tell stories about. Man, I was at that event. I slept in a bathtub. I saw this and this and this. Jorge actually wore a suit. That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's important to have a blueprint when we walk away. It's important to know that we're not just coming there to get hyped up and have the coolest looking thing, but the coolest looking thing has to attract us so that the best thing can get inside of us so that we can go back out in the marketplace and invest it into the marketplace. That's what we have to deliver. Otherwise, with all respect to everybody on here, otherwise events are a sham. Like I said, y'all may not like me, but it's okay.
At the end of the day, the company is doing what it can. It is what it is. It's tough for everyone. So we can't just keep complaining and keep saying the company do this, the company, because they're not going to do it, and not in a bad way. They want to do it, they just can't do it. So instead of just keep fighting it, let's just figure it out ourselves. That's the way I see it, and not leave it up to chance, not leave it up to them to fix our problem that we can fix. We have the solution, we can fix it. We just need the help.
Sorry, guys. I'm making myself a tea here. I need more energy to be able to deal with all this. Listen. Uh, so I agree with what you guys are saying. I noticed that some people put in the chats, well, how about you do it in May, or how about you do it in June? Well, June is out of the question, and for me, I find May to be out of the question also for different reasons. June is way too close to extravaganza. We don't want any confusion or any, people getting losing focus for extravaganza too soon. I think May is too close to extravaganza also, and in addition, May is a month where a lot of people they have team retreats, including myself. Anybody who wants to do a team retreat, that's usually a month where they do it because it's an off month. Um, June, there's also the Herbalife vacations, I believe, right? So
Yeah,
June,
yeah.
yeah. So I think that June and July are not good months that would work. I mean, there's a reason why the company chose April as a month to do the LEWs or whatever. But you know what would be good, guys? If you guys open it up to, because I've seen a lot of people commenting and in the chat and stuff.
Yeah.
You guys open it up and kind of just, I want to hear, what people are thinking and get some input from people. I think that would be
Yeah.
valuable.
Yeah, guys, unmute yourself. This is a conversation. This is you guys. This is not what
Yeah,
you
sorry.
were
Listen, you
expecting.
guys were expecting a training. You're getting a conversation, but I think it's a valuable
share.
conversation. It's a positive
Okay.
conversation.
All right. So, this is pretty big. And so I love We Do Transformations. Moving out here to Hawaii wasn't easy. And having a DMO that we can do and duplicate was not easy. But when We Do Transformation came out, it's helped us. We're top recruiters in Enrique's organization. That's never happened. And I just see so much possibilities with this. And I'm willing, to go all out and do whatever it takes for We Do Transformation. One of the reasons why I did say May is just because the conflict, I feel it is going to be a conflict, because if there was a Elevate or a We Do Transformation event on the same month, there's like a no-brainer for me what I'm going to go and what I'm going to be excited about. Of course, we're going to go to a We Do Transformation event, but it's just like, I don't know. Are we willing to, I don't know what's going to happen with, the company, you know, and us doing our own thing. But I'm willing, because I thought we were going to have an event, so I was ready to go wherever we were going to go. So I just want to let you guys know I'm very thankful. Justin, Octavio, George, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
I have a question. George, were you planning to do your event instead of the April LDW, or were you going to pursue both?
No, I was not gonna do both.
Yeah.
I was not gonna do both. I had my reasons for doing it. I just, people are investing a lot of money to go to these events, and now, Herbalife is making it even more expensive, and I just don't feel that recently the value has been there. Octavio and I even got involved with the committee that helps to organize the events to try to improve the events. But it's just not what we wanted to be. So I said, I'd rather maybe do something smaller, on a smaller scale for my group, for the guys that really want to learn, and sit the next one out, and see what happens until maybe it gets figured out or whatever. But it seems like the company's also in a transitionary phase, with the events. I don't really know. I'm not super involved. I just listen. My head is in the ground working, and all I'm involved in is working, recruiting distributors, teaching those distributors, getting those distributors to grow. And so I have to do what's going to be the best for those new distributors. And that's why I was considering
Yeah.
doing my own event in April.
No, I agree. I
Um,
get that. I have a question before moving forward with somebody else. Would you all ever consider doing an HOM that's WDT like focused that could possibly lead momentum into the WDT event?
um,
I mean, we kind of have one, the one that we use in Connect, the video, George. Uh, that's literally an HOM. I don't know how.
yeah, but are you saying like an HOM at the event itself?
No, I was literally talking about at least once a month, like somebody live going on and sharing the HOM, just sharing their story, their testimonies, because it is happening, right? In different areas, but it's not it's not
It,
transformation.
it comes, look, guys, we can do many things. The reality is we can do a lot of the things. The problem is even to get people to do the calls on Tuesday is a nightmare. And it comes down to commitment. It's hard to find people to do events, to do calls. Imagine now we're gonna find somebody to do an HOM, and it's a great idea. We can do it, not a problem. But it's just we just don't have the bandwidth with it for it. We need help.
You know what I've, you know what I've seen people do, and they've had success with it. They'll literally just gather some people at their club or whatever, and they'll play that video that we have in Connect, that 10-minute video where I explain kind of like we do transformations. Of course, they build in like a little event around it. It's not just a video. You know, maybe they have some testimonials around it or they have other things, but they use that video. And that was the purpose of that video to begin with. So I mean, I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't use the video because I just basically I've been doing like kind of like HOMs. I do in my house, but I just say exactly what I said in the video pretty much. That's really what I say in my HOMs. Essentially, the same thing that I say in the video. The only thing is that then later on in the meeting, if I'm in person, then I go into a little bit the marketing plan stuff. For those that stay, I go into the marketing plan a little bit deeper and I explain the marketing plan a little bit deeper. But when I do HOMs, that's basically what I do. I just basically just go over the same exact things that I go over in the video. Even when I'm doing like one-on-one meetings with people, with prospects for the business, I'm essentially saying the same exact things I'm saying in the video, um, even with one-on-one prospects. Also, we had an idea for the event that we were going to do. We had an idea of a kind of like an HOM kind of thing. Not really HOM, but a section. There could be a section for guests, people who are not distributors yet. And that could be, you know, the idea could be that we start the event with a shape up, and that could be open to anyone. And then that shape up will have like a testimonials, and then we'll have a close at the end of the shape up. And then the event will start like later on in the afternoon or something like that. That could be an idea. And then that we have like a big fitness kind of thing, which also goes with what we're trying to do. So that could potentially work as an HOM also in an event. Just an idea.
So if I can share real quickly. So for myself, I just, having this conversation playing in my head right now too, and like the things, and obviously been in the business for 12 years, like super grateful for the company. But right now there is so much uncertainty. There's so many people who are doing their own thing, right? Because they see the need. Like we took our team, we built it up and took a road trip from a regular JKO that we would typically tap into a private JKO. Because of the value that we knew was going to get delivered. So, I mean, again, it's worth the drive for that. And I think that on behalf of like our team that we have, if we're like tiptoeing back and forth, and so this is where I feel like the question of, again, like, do we have the commitment? It isn't a light thing. I'm not taking it lightly at all, right? But at the same time, like our team is looking at us as to what to do, like where to go and all the things. And if we're like, they can tell that they got a BS meter too. They can tell when we like really are loving the event and when we're just promoting the event because that's what we were taught to do and then we just show up, right? And so I feel like, again, the responsibility as I look at the team, and again, I'm assuming, I mean, all the different training, I don't know what's all going to be shared, but at the same time, we've got people who are doing all different methods, right? But if they're getting trained in in-depth, like actionable things that they're leaving, like not just inspired, but at the same time, like they're already doing the work before they even leave, right? And so to me, like that's where I want to take my people, because when I look at everyone I'm working with, I see their kids. I see their husband that they're trying to retire. And like literally seeing everyone just like doing different stuff and like all this stuff. Like I don't even pay attention to what people got going on, but things pop up and I'm like, what are they doing now? Like I mean, people are just floundering trying to find a solution. And instead of like doing separate small little events, like we have how many like hundreds of press team in that chat that we can, if we're gonna go ahead and show how the company how to level up, like why don't we work together to show them how to level up instead of the small, like the things that people are going to do because they know that they need to do something. Does this make sense?
Yep.
But the responsibility, the tiptoeing thing, that uncertainty, I feel like we can't let that into our team that we're working with, like feeling uncertain of like what the company's got going on, right? Like we know we're in charge of ourselves and we know, like, again, the communication I'm grateful for here so that we know the vision that you guys have of where it's going and what we can do to be able to make that stuff happen in the direction you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the reason that we had not done more in-person events, or one of the reasons, it's because we were trying to, you know, move forward with more virtual for the sake of allowing, having the ability to have everybody from all over the world, because We Do is so massive now, connect. But we always knew that in-person events, like that one event we had in Vegas, that's where it was at. I mean, that's where it was at. I'll share something else, and this is kind of like what I've been thinking. Listen, recruiting isn't getting any easier, you know, nowadays. Yeah, we're still recruiting. I bring new people into the business every week. I'm bringing in at least a couple of new people into the business. I'm constantly talking to people. I'm signing people up basically everywhere. Things are going, but it's not like I'm just working, but it's not that it's easy. I mean, recruiting is not getting any easier. Okay, so it's tough to find people. Then you find people because you do the work, you work your ass off, you do the work, and then you find people. Now, from the people that you find, finding good people that actually activate and are actually willing to work, that's even more difficult, you know? So maybe 2 out of 10 that you recruit might be like solid, that, they're at least willing to work a little bit. Doesn't mean they're going to be rock stars, but they're at least willing to do something. So that's difficult, nowadays. Also, more than it's been in the last 12 years that I've been in the business, getting people to activate, to get it, and to start producing. Right. So that's difficult. Then you got a third layer. Then getting those people to attend to an event, especially an event that is not in their city, not in their town. Getting those people to attend an event where they have to invest money in a hotel, get out of their city, spend 2 days, block off their schedule. That's even more difficult. That filters out the people even more. Now you got like, 1 out of 10, maybe more, or maybe less. I mean, so it gets even more difficult. Getting people is tough. Getting good people is tougher. Getting good people to attend events is even tougher. When you look at all that, and then you say, and then you finally accomplish that, by the way, you finally accomplish that. You finally get new people at the event. And then you're there with your fingers crossed, going, I hope it's good. That's just not a gamble that I'm willing to take any longer. Because it's too much work. It's too much sacrifice on my end. I shouldn't have my fingers crossed, hoping for the best. Like, and this happened to me recently. And I had probably like 5 or 6 brand new distributors, first events, no more than like a month in the company at this last event. And we managed to get them to the event. And then I was like, I hope they got something, you know? for me, that's an issue. Now, listen, I'm all for helping the company get better. And I think that event that we did in September made the company better. It brought on Eric Worre. It got them to level up a lot. You know, I don't know what that next phase is going to be. But that's why, like, I decided that I was going to do something smaller for April, for my people, just for that sake. Listen, I think if we summarize it, I think for sure September we could do something for We Do Transformations, like as a whole. We could have people come in from all over the world if they want. I don't know where we would do it. I for some reason, I'm kind of nostalgic about Vegas, and Vegas, just because that first event was in Vegas, that just seems to be a great option to bring it back there in September, just because, first of all, it's an attractive destination. People are going to want to go there. It's sexy, you know, and it's just, that's where it kind of started. And it was freaking great. And so maybe we could do something there again in September for sure. As far as other events, I don't know. We have to figure out what people want to decide. I'm certainly going to do something separate in April. But I don't know if people are ready for that kind of commitment. Like, We Do Transformations presidents teams are ready for that kind of commitment. And I don't, you know, it doesn't matter to me. I'm clear on what I want to do. Ultimately, you know, it's whatever is best for our people is what we need to do. Whatever is best for our people, because if our people have success, the company has success. You know, and so for the company to win, our people have to win. The company can't win if our people don't win. The company can't win if we don't win. So I want the company to win, and so we have to set up people up for success. So I don't know. I think it's probably a further dialogue, guys. I mean, I'm open to continuing to hear like what others have to say. We can continue the dialogue. I have no rush, but
I'll share really quickly. So I'm on the committee for Elevate and Amplify every year, the past few events. And the information is just not there. And it's not, you know, there's many people contributing. We can help support, you know, people and what to say on the stage and how to share their stuff. And at the end of the day, we still don't know. And what I do know is when we did the We Do Transformations training beforehand, y'all, we spent 4 hours in a mastermind, like figuring out the right information being delivered. And Jorge, we went in conversations, and he went in asking us, making sure that there was valid, solid, actionable information going to be shared, that when you left this event, you knew that like this is the event, that you got this stuff, you can take action immediately, you were excited about it. And honestly, I've been like, okay, where's the next event like that though? Because now I experienced that. And we move from event to event, right? We know coming out of LDW, then we go to STS, or if you have one, or whatever's the next event, but we're always promoting to the next event. We haven't had that after experiencing that. So I think it would be great to have an event come April. And based on the conversations, I'm not the one speaking in the Prez chat, right? I'm a newer Prez, so I don't really say too much in there. But based on the conversations and where the company's heading already for, and the decision that's been made in for April, like it's created a big, the morale's down. And even for me, I'm a newer Prez, and I'm like, dang, like all this stuff is happening. And I can tell you that I would be excited to have an event in April, because I know for a fact that the information is going to be given. My people are going to be like, okay, let's go. And I'm going to be excited about it, right? And now let's talk about, you know, when I think about events, I think about, we have your supporters, we have your analyzers, we have your promoters, right? Like all the colors and the different personality types. Like we really hit on those. Like the parties that elevates and amplifies, they're just really not that great. And there's only so much corporate can do, or I don't really know why, or they're not that great and whatnot. But I know that when we had the We Do Transformation one, it was lit, okay? And so we talking about inviting people as promoters, like, man, look at the party, like, look at what, this is what you get to be a part of. And guess what? Like the next one, we got to bring more people with this, right? So when I think about that, like, the information, the party, we had speakers from outside coming in. You know, like it was epic. So I think the question really here, you guys, with Jorge saying all this stuff is, are you guys in to do an April event? And possibly not go to Elevate, right? And use this because we know that coming out of We Do Transformations, like they're going to get the information and they're going to put in work, right? From that. And then exactly, yeah, Wendy said it. We promote events differently when we believe in them. And so I'm excited about We Do Transformations coming in April. And so I'm a yes to going to the We Do Transformations happening in April. I think September is way too long. It's way too far away. I mean, most of the year's already gone. And that's already, to me, September is thinking about fourth quarter in 2026, right? Like we need to kick off this year now with this. And imagine we already have videos to promote We Do Transformation from the last event, like hyping that up right now. You know, even if people did buy their ticket, I hear they spent the 120, right? But we spend the 120 still not knowing, going to Elevate and Amplify what we're going to get. We don't know because the culture has been that we only share limited information on the stage. It's one thing I hate. If I use word talk, please, I can't. I know that that's what we do in this business, but there has to be some depth into that. There's got to be more to it. And because we've seen that so much being said from the stage, that's just what people come on and say and do, right? Like here, you're going to know that We Do Transformations in April. Jorge's not going to first off, this is an event that this is his, right? So he's not going to let people come on the stage and just give you BS or fluff or sugarcoat stuff or not what they're actually doing, right? So I know that the information is going to be delivered. So I'm a yes for the event. I think that's the question, you know, and we get to ask ourselves, like, are you in? Because if this event can't happen in April, if you're not in, right? Like you're committed to this is the event that you're going to go to, you're going to promote to it because we need the people in the seats. And hearing a Chairman's Club member who is diligently working, recruiting massively right now, that massively compared, right, to what everybody, I know he's like, it's only 2 distributors a week, but that's a lot right now. And he's making a decision to throw an event for himself. Thank you for the opportunity to open up to all of us that, you know, we may participate in this event that you wanted to create just for your group. And now it's open to all of us. So I just want to share that. And I'm a yes.
Listen, I'm not so excited about this. Simply because I'm not looking forward to more work. But it is what it is. It's a sacrifice that has to be done. But yeah, it's not, you know, not thrilled to have to do this because this is going to be more work, something else to focus on, something else to think about, something else to do. But I think for me, it's necessary, you know, and everybody's open, you know, to do whatever they want. But maybe we start with something small and then we eventually elevate to something bigger. Yeah, guys, I don't know if you guys, you know, come together and you decide that this is something that you guys want to get behind and something you guys want to do. Listen, we'll try to figure out the logistics of it. Like I said, I was going to do something anyway Octavio and I were going to do something anyway for our group, something small in April. If more people want to come along and tag along and be a part of it, it's going to be more logistics and more work, but we'd be willing to do it.
And also, guys, just so, I mean, we're willing to do it because I think it is necessary for one thing. And I don't want you to think that I'm rushing you or anything like that. But to put an event together, it'll take a lot of work. So the longer we take to make a decision, the longer it'll be. And also, you also have to think your distributors are probably buying tickets for the LDW. So it's kind of messed up making them buy 2 different tickets. So I know this is scary. I know this could be tough, and this is going against what we, I guess, I don't know, done all our lives. But at some point, there has to be a tough decision. This is not going to hurt the company. We're not going against the company. We're simply just getting the right solution for our people. But we need to move on this. We need to be, like George was saying, we're going to do it regardless. We're going to do it. No, we know that we're gonna do it. Now, if you guys want to be part, I know it's scary to do that first step, but it'll be so worth it. I mean, we haven't done. I don't think anybody here can say anything that we have done. Nothing that has not taken everything to the next level. Everything that we do, not because we're better than anybody or anything like that, but we do things right. And when we do it, we commit to it and we make sure it works. So when we do one thing, I can guarantee you, for the most part, it's gonna work. There will be no damage. There will be nothing wrong. It'll work. But you guys have to
Oh,
decide quick.
yeah, guys, keep in mind also that in June we're gonna have the We Do games.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really gonna be We Do games. We're gonna call them 24 games, and they're gonna be presented by We Do Transformations. This is gonna be in June, and we're gonna have people here from all over the world, from Europe, from all that. So I just keep that in mind, and that's gonna be in Miami for sure because that's where the European vacations are gonna be. So June we're gonna have the We Do games. Now we can't do the We Do games and an event. Logistically, it wouldn't work. The We Do games itself takes 2 days. So we would have to do the games separately. The games would be in June. Um, we already have dates and everything. It's actually, I think it's like a week before the North America vacations or something like that. So it's not like the most convenient, but it's going to be an epic event or weekend or whatever. So that's happening in June, which we have to start planning now too. uh, and then
A lot of
if we
work.
did an event, shit, you telling me? If we did an event in April, we don't have a venue, we don't have anything. That means we got to start working on stuff ASAP. Lauren is over there stressing out already.
So, yeah.
Hey, George, there was a question in the chat from Heather Schwartz that said, is the combo happening at all at the CCFC level?
The what?
To be honest with you, I don't really know because I'm not super involved with all the conversations there. I'm more involved with working and building my business. But it's I'm sure it's happening. I'm sure because I've talked to a lot of chairman's clubs and founder circle who are not happy with the different things that got announced. So I'm sure it's happening. I just don't go in those chats, you know. But I'm sure it's happening for sure. Yeah. I mean, nobody's really super happy about all the new announcements. Everybody's kind of upset at every level.
Anybody else wants to say anything?
I just want to say really quick as far as like deciding whether or not to attend one event versus another. I think my entire team has their April LDW tickets or whatever it's called. We're all committed to going to April. So making a choice isn't something that I would be able to say personally that I would do because commitments are already made. But do I think there could be a different event? Absolutely. Should there be different events? Absolutely. There's tons of organizations that I've seen over this past couple of weeks put on their own JKOs, like in people's houses. Like literally just like opened up Facebook while we were all talking and saw I can't even think of her name, but there's people are putting events everywhere
Yeah.
of their own. So putting an event together for We Do specifically in April, like all for that. I think it's awesome. But as far as like making a choice one or the other, that's not something that I could personally say that I would do. But having a separate event, absolutely. I do think it's important. I do think having a different type of focus is important. Because we are talking two different. So it's crazy to say it's two different things, but there are two different focuses, if that makes sense. But yeah, different events, awesome, but not a choice for me.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything.
I wonder how many people are talking about doing their own events in April. That's
Uh,
got to be a conversation that's happening.
I seen a lot of conversations, a lot of people putting their own events. They're starting to think of doing their own events after everything that happens. So I know there's a lot of conversations about events right now everywhere.
Honestly, I don't know if there's that like it's happening. I've seen it. I've seen posts, I've seen pictures, I've seen videos. Um, I can't think. I want to say if Casey was still on, there was a huge event that we saw posted after a big event that we went to, and there was a ton of organizations involved. So people are doing it.
Yeah.
So yesterday, the Florida Pres teams were together on a call. There was like 57, I believe, logged on. Most of it was Latin market. And the conversation obviously is the same thing that all of us have been seeing on the chat. And they were talking about how 15 years ago, LDWs got started by distributors, and then the company took that on as something that they wanted to do nationwide. And one of the conversations was all the Florida Pres team are going to get together and have a conversation with corporate, ask them if there's any way that they can fix or change the qualifications that they came up with for president's team experience. And if not, that all the Florida Pres teams were going to get aligned and do an independent event. So yeah, there's a lot of conversations happening. This is not the first one.
Yeah, I'm sure. What I would tell you, Liz, I wasn't on that call, but Florida leadership getting together with the company and asking the company to change the whatever they wanted to change, that's a waste of time because the company's not going to change something for Florida. If the company changes something, it's going to be on a higher level, and they got to change it for everybody, not just Florida. So it's romantic, but it's not going to happen on a state level or per event level. If it's going to happen, it has to happen at a higher level for everybody. So it's kind of that call's not going to really go anywhere. But yeah.
Guys, we have 13 more minutes, and after that, we have to disconnect. But
Yeah.
anybody else wants to say anything else?
Would we keep,
Interesting times.
Yeah.
would we be able to still like match if we did the We Do in April, match the qualifications like the VIP, the Ruby, you know what I mean? Like keep those things so that way people are still going for those VIPs, the Sapphire, the Emerald, the Ruby.
We have no idea.
This is
We haven't
no
thought of anything. We have no idea. We could probably keep that or create brand new. First of all, the naming of those VIPs doesn't even make any sense. Because how is the Ruby the highest thing when in our marketing plan, Ruby is the first level of tab? It's the lowest level. It's 2%. How is it in the VIP, Ruby is the highest qualification? Makes no sense. We brought it up. They did nothing about it. It's been brought up many times. It doesn't make any sense. They're saying, "Oh no," but we researched it, and rubies are more expensive than emeralds. Also, not accurate. But so that we wouldn't even keep that. Now, as far as the numbers, we would rethink everything. I think, and I don't know what those numbers would be.
Definitely not what they raised it to now. It doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, and guys, to be honest, like, the event that I was going to do, that I had planned on doing in April for my organization, obviously along with Octavio, it was not. It was going to be like a small production. Okay, this was not going to be like an over the top event with like an over the top party. We're going to make the best of it, but we don't know how much budget we're going to have, so we're going to make the best with the budget that whatever budget we were able to get from the ticket sales. But what we were going to focus on was the value and the information. And so not necessarily the production of the event or, I don't know if we were going to be able to give out lunch to everybody, the company's not doing that either. But, would I like to give lunch to everybody, to give lunch to all the VIPs and presidents teams? Yes, like we did at the We Do events. Now for this event, I wasn't sure what kind of budget we were going to have. So I'm like, we're going to go, with bare bones and then we'll add on as we go, and we'll figure out what we can actually do. But we're going to focus on making sure that at least the people that come, they get the value and they get the you know, the information that they need to grow their business. So if we decide to open this and make this bigger and make this like a We Do Transformations event now, I got to be honest. I don't know what we're going to be able to give. It depends on how many people are committed to it and how much budget we have. I don't know if we're going to be able to give lunch. I don't know if we're going to, I don't know what we're going to be able to do. I don't know if we're going to be able to have a president's team experience on Friday night. I don't know what our budget is going to allow us to do, because keep in mind, we're not going to have any support from the company. You know, even the products we got to figure out how to get. And so my focus was going to be value, information value. Everything else, we're going to do the best we can do. And it all depends on how much budget we have to work with. And that depends on how many people are actually committed. So if this, if the decision is made to open this up to all of We Do Transformations, or whoever wants to attend and actually open it up, then we would have to see, depending on how many ticket sales we get, what we can do with that money. I have no idea, because it's been a while since we put on an event like this. And so, I don't want to, because I know you guys have the idea of the September event that we did in Vegas, and that's what you have in mind. And the truth is, we went negative, like I told you, 6 figures in that event, just because we wanted to provide you guys with a crazy experience. We charged almost nothing for the tickets. We gave lunch to, I think, over 300 people. We had a party that party alone was probably $60,000. This is not, you won't be getting that. Now, the vibes, the information, that kind of stuff, for sure. That level of production that we had in that September event in Vegas, I don't know if we could get that again. At least not in April. Maybe if we do another event in September in Vegas, maybe we could, because maybe We Do Transformations will be in a position to be able to invest a little bit more money into the event besides whatever gets covered from ticket sales. But I don't really know. But so I'm just being transparent with you guys.
Yo, George.
Sorry.
Yo, Super Mario, please say the super. Hey, I heard you was doing our April event out here in Cali, dog.
Yeah, I have to send you guys a video, actually.
Appreciate that. But I want to address you guys about these events. I was like the lead guy for our success trainings out here in Cali since 2015, and y'all know we had the biggest event in the country, right? I'm doing stuff at Long Beach Convention Center. This is all fully me doing the full booking, so I know how the production and the value and the catering when you want to do the food for it's a lot, you guys, right? LA Convention Center, all of that stuff, and other venues. This is the strategy, as I was thinking, as I was sitting here driving, you guys, is just use the fucking event, right? They're paying, right? At the end of the day, they're paying. They give us a skeleton agenda. I promise you, you do not have to train the agenda that they give you. They're just giving you options. I've been on the quote unquote S&P for the region, and we help pick the speakers and everything else. But that's the problem. We gotta get into the room. You gotta demand that you're in the room. You gotta demand that you get on the Zoom. You gotta demand to have your voice heard, and make it so that you're having a bigger conversation with more than 3 or 4 or 5 people making all the decisions for the region. But you're also getting in there, and then you're bringing the people that are like-minded in terms of old school values, wanting to make sure that the qualifications, no matter what it is, are met. Making sure that people are recognized properly, making sure that there's a variety of DMOs to get trained on, making sure that people are learning how to speak on stage and stuff, and getting value like that, making sure that HOMs make sense so that the new person can see some excitement and something to join in. It's on us. There's no fucking corporate speakers at the LDW. There's no corporate speakers at a JKO. I'm sorry. Let me stop. Let me not cuss. There's
No, you're doing good, bro.
At these quarterly events, you guys. So how is it Herbalife's fault if the event sucks? Think about that. You get a chance right now before a new event starts to not have to say, hey, how are we going to scrounge around? Because my royalties ain't at a place where I'm about to put in a couple $1,000s for shit. But if I need something changed, I definitely got a voice. I definitely made it 30K for a reason to be able to say, hey, I would like to be involved. Hey, I would like to be able to do that. This is what I implore for you guys to do, as we go into, this April, whatever the hell they call it. Right? As we get into extravaganza, who knows how that goes? There's some great people, but as we get a chance to start, giving your input, maybe extravaganza is going to be worth it in Dallas, right? Dallas is a great place. And then as we go into October, LD, whatever the butt fuck, it's on you to take care of your local if you guys can get to somewhere local. We're blessed because we have California, a lot of places you guys are close. A lot of you guys are going to have to travel. I understand. But it is going to be on us to, take control of our own events. I'm complete or whatever.
No, you're completely right, bro. You're completely right. In fact, that's what I did for the last year. We got really involved in the events, and and our goal was to make it better, and I think we did. So I mean, people can certainly do that. 100%. People can get involved and help to make their local events better wherever they are. If they have a local event, you're completely right. That's certainly an option. Like I said, this was the conversation that apparently was going on in the chats. Octavio and Justin felt that it was a good idea to at least have some thoughts going around it. I think for sure, what I can conclude from this conversation for sure is that we can have a September event, another We Do Transformations event in September for sure. And then as far as for sure, we're also going to have the We Do games in June for sure. For sure, we're going to have extravaganza, obviously. And besides that, as far as We Do Transformations, I guess we'll see. This was an interesting dialogue, and it's interesting for me to get everybody's input and feedback because I'm not always in the chats. And I don't really see what's going on in the President's Team chats. But I think for sure September is a thing. Maybe we can take it back to Vegas and do a repeat of what happened in 2023 with more experience, with more knowledge, with more testimonials of people who are actually doing this. As far as April or any other months, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
And so, bro, before we I guess we cut off, and then Soup, I love everything you said, bro, and I think it's beautiful. And in a perfect world, it'll work. Now, if that was the solution, do you think we would have gotten to this point? Because you think that everybody in the whatever committees or whatever putting the events together, you think they haven't tried? If you really think that we have the power to change anything, wouldn't that been changed already? We would have never gotten to this point. Why so many people, and a lot of the people here in these conversations are part of committees. Me and George, we part of committees, and we try everything that we could. At the end of the day, yeah, is the agenda open? You can do many things. Yes and no. Not necessarily, not really. So, I mean, I love what you said. In a perfect world, I want to be in love. I love Herbalife. I love this. I'm sure I can change many things. The reality is, not necessarily. If not, we wouldn't be at this point. But I just wanted to share that. But everyone is open to find solution. Everyone is open to do whatever they
Yeah. Listen, I think in the case of these guys, they're in California. They got an event in California. It makes sense. It's everybody has a different situation, and everybody's under different circumstances. And I think that's what we have to understand is that everybody's under different circumstances, different situations. The game is not the same for everybody when it comes to these events. So, it is what it is. Super is also fortunate, bro. He's gonna have a good speaker.
That's why he's saying that. That's why he's
You know,
playing that.
that's why he's
Yeah.
he's confident about his speaker. That's why.
He'll deliver. Hey guys, look, we have the translator. She's going crazy. She's the only one there. I mean, I'm sure we can go all night talking about this. But at the end of the day, we have to decide what we want to do. And whatever we decide, look, it doesn't matter what you decide or what we decide, whatever. At the end of the day, what I do know and what I recommend, do whatever you think is best for your team. If you think going to the ODW is the best thing for your team, by all means, no, like we don't want to discourage that. Personally, for us, me and George, it's just not gonna work. It's just not there. Eventually, maybe we put enough pressure that will change and we'll get there. We try, we gave it a try, and nothing happened, nothing changed. And for us, we just have to move on and do our own thing because we need to. If we want to grow, if we want our team to grow and actually get value out of these events, we have to do this. This is the best move. So, but at the end of the day, it's whatever you guys decide. This was never even supposed to be a conversation. It was supposed to be a training. Everything is good. George wasn't even ready for this. But we thought it was good to share, and we thought it was a good time, especially everything that is going on. But
No, it was a great dialogue. It's nice to have open communication. I like to get people's input on what's happening and what they're feeling and what's going on in their business. I have no agenda. I don't care either way. I'm going to do my thing. Regardless of whatever people do. Always, that's just always my thing. So I had no agenda. They just they said it would be good to have some kind of dialogue and have people give their input and have people share what's going on, and I think it was great. It's kind of it's interesting to see what's going on and how people feel about it, and that we had a open and straightforward and transparent conversation. I think it's interesting. I guess we'll figure out what's best for sure. Like I said, September. For sure, we do games in June. As far as everything else, I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the right decision is right now. And so we'll just play it by ear. For sure, we need some kind of event. I mean, everybody, whether it's Herbalife, corporate, not corporate, whatever, we do, not we do, we need to get people to an event in April. That's for sure. So we'll just have to figure that one out. But great dialogue, guys. Thank you for sharing.
Can I ask last?
Yeah.
Hi, thank you, Jorge, for accepting being the guest speaker for our spectacular in Malaysia. My name is Nasir. Yeah. Hi, Octavio. Is it possible that we have a webinar or a Zoom live during the event that is going to be held in September or April?
I'm sure we can figure out a way to make that happen, bro.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. I'm sure we can figure out a way to make that happen. We got time. We can figure something out.
Figure it out.
And by the way, you're more than welcome to come also.
Okay, that's that.
It's better in person anyway.
Yeah. It's better in person, but if you have team members, obviously, and we want to be able to share it with everybody, we'll try to figure out a way to broadcast it. If it's feasible, we'll try to figure out a way to broadcast it for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Great conversations. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.